Hello, hello. Happy Sunday, everyone. Checking in I'm in San Diego, California this week, wanting to share a little story that I was sharing with a friend, and I thought that it would be fabulous to share this with you. So, if you're watching live, type live so I can see who you are. If you're watching the replay, type replay so I know that you were watching, so I know who's watching. If you're live, type live so I can see who you are. So this story is about how things can change for you greatly, to the point where you may not even recognize yourself anymore. Now, if you've been with me for a while, you know that I preach nutrient density and really addressing mineral and nutritional deficiencies, which are what most of us have in the modern world, and is the reason why our body is pulling the necessary nutrients from our teeth and our bones, right? So if you have tooth decay, you probably have some level of bone degeneration as well. This is why we have a lot of seniors, they lose their teeth and they fall and they break a hip, break a bone, whatever. And unfortunately, that's how my grandfather died. Very old guy, 92, I think it was maybe 2 years ago, and he fell and broke his hip. And, it was just being in the hospital that killed him, not the actual broken hip. He caught an infection while he was in there. So let's move on to a slightly more upbeat tone, which is I was telling a story of when I was 19 years old. I was incredibly picky, very, very, very picky, right? And I work with a lot of people who come in, they're like, I can't eat that, I can't eat this. And there's so many options in the world, and even available to you no matter where you live in the world. There's so many options that you don't need to, hi Trisha, so you don't need to eat everything, right? Like if you're in other groups, you may see people saying, eat fermented cod liver oil, or drink raw milk, or eat, raw egg yolks, or eat liver, eat brain, eat heart. And a lot of people are like, whoa, these things are too much for me. And I just want to let you know that is totally okay. Okay, so I healed my teeth without eating the most intense, extreme foods out there. I couldn't do fermented cod liver oil. I couldn't do liver. And I just wanted to share with you, when I was 19 years old, I was thinking back to this. I was sharing a story with someone. I couldn't eat onions. I couldn't eat I didn't eat a lot of vegetables. I grew up in England, very picky country. I spend time with people out here. Americans are pretty picky. They, have the things they like and they have the things they don't like. We don't have a wide variety of foods, unfortunately, here. And then, our culture doesn't really have a very wide variety of foods unless you're connected to your ethnic culture. Say you're Filipino American, or on my side, Greek American, or whatever it is. So I was telling a friend right now, because his sister brought back menudo. And I was telling him, my goodness, when I was 23, I was a vegan. 25. I was a vegan when I was 25. And yes, Trisha, totally, this is a story for you. So I sat down and I ordered a bowl of menudo at a Mexican restaurant. Now, if you know what menudo is, you will know that it is cow stomach and just all kinds of organ meats. And I was vegan. And not only was I vegan, I really, growing up in England, not a lot of organ meats. They really, really don't go for all of that. We're talking about fall of Victorian Empire, very specifying. That's what, the Victorians did. They created this dualism. This type of meat is good and this type of meat is bad, right? And traditionally, people ate all the animal. And so most of us who grew up in modern societies are not used to eating all the animal. So I was thinking about that, and how these days I eat all kinds of things. I eat liver, I go to Mexican restaurants and I try tongue, I try brain, I try cheek. It's wild, wild stuff. And I'm looking out for more stuff now. And when I started this 9 years ago, when I started this path, Hi Laura. So when I started this path, I did not have a very wide palette in terms of I couldn't eat a lot of things, or I didn't really like to eat a lot of things. And so I want to say, this is something I talk about extensively in my course, Heal Your Teeth, and I'm going to be talking about in Heal Your Gums, which launches tomorrow. If you want info on that, just drop an info in the comments. So what I talk extensively about is how you can start small, and you can start slow, and you can build. Unless you're the type of person who likes to dive headfirst in, right? You can dive headfirst in, but I would recommend with foods that are not in your favorite flavor profiles, foods that are new, you go and you get a professional to cook it, like a nice restaurant or a traditional restaurant, and you try their foods. Because I can tell you, the first time that I ate liver, I made it myself and I gagged. I gagged and I felt so sad throwing it away. But really, I just want to share with you guys that, if you are a picky eater, take it slow. Really also focus on your digestion, building your digestion. A lot of times we're picky because our body says, I cannot digest that. So, optimizing your digestion, healing yourself. Awesome, Carol, I'll reach out to you. And really just taking time with it, right? If you have a need to really get, if you're in a critical time, you're going to want to go fast, and that's why I really recommend you reaching out to me and getting that group and one-on-one mentorship from me in Heal Your Teeth. But I also, even still, will show you how to do it at a comfortable pace. You really don't, when you have a critical issue, you want to be working on it fast, because infections are no joke. Obviously, teeth can heal, teeth can remineralize. Hello, Leah. But there is a point at which they've gone too far. Okay, I have a missing tooth here where it went too far before I learned all of this. That was about 10 years ago. So thankfully I don't have a root canal there. I would honestly rather have no tooth than a dead tooth. But I'm gonna wrap it up, because that's really my message for today, is that especially with kids, if you start them early, if you use creative ways to sneak in new foods. And I just was recommended a book today called French Children Eat Everything, and really talking about how, we have this, the children as picky eaters is kind of a modern epidemic, and it's not necessarily the way children are. And we're not necessarily doing children a lot of service if we allow them to be picky eaters, because a lot of those picky eaters grow up to be picky adults. And with picky adults, I was one of them. I'm sure some people watching this were and are. You miss out on a lot in life, not just nutritional, right? Which really, that makes a huge difference. If you're not getting the nutrition you need from various sources, you are, as a woman especially, hair, skin, mood, energy, all of those things, but also the diversity of life, right? The spice of life, the range, the flavors. So if you're watching the replay, I would love to hear what, if you're picky, if you are a picky eater, if you were a picky eater, if you have a picky kid, what some of your favorite dishes are, since, you're branching out into. For me, I think, what's a favorite thing that I've branched out into recently? It's definitely liver. I've been eating a lot. If you follow my stories, I eat liver a lot, and I love to eat it with lemon and some hot sauce and potatoes and onions and greens. And now my mouth is watering. So I hope you guys are having a fabulous Sunday, and signing off,